What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the morning movie chat. I am your host, Trinity. Thank you all so much for being here. I do greatly appreciate any time that you guys stop by here on, on any of my live streams, on any of them, even to check out my videos, watch me flap my gums about just a whole bunch of different stuff. Always a good time anytime you guys show up. Now, I do want to tell everybody just right off the bat, I apologize yesterday for no morning movie chat, guys. I apologize. But as we all know, yesterday was Veterans Day here in the United States, and so I kind of took the day off from doing the morning movie chat. But last night I did go ahead and did a live stream talking about some comic books and things like that. You guys know I'm pretty nerdy about those things, and yeah. So right off the bat, obviously, everybody. The first thing everybody wants to talk about today, I mean, is the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian, it finally premiered. Disney Plus is finally here, right, guys? Woo! All right, I'm sure we're all psyched up and ready for that. Of course, naturally, there are people out there who are under the whole who don't want to see any of this. They don't want to have anything to do with Disney. They're boycotting Disney, and I can guarantee you, there's people out there talking about the Mandalorian already and haven't seen it and just are gonna hate on it no matter what. So yeah, there's a whole lot of things that we're going to be talking about today. And Russell Wells Benjamin, thank you so much for being here. He says, Wu Tang Wells. Okay, my bad. Wu Tang Wells, thank you so much for being here. He says, I'm actually watching The Mandalorian right now, so I won't be staying long, but wanted to share my Disney Plus experience so far. Yes, please go ahead and make sure you leave your comments down there. I've got, kind of several different things to say about it. It's kind of crazy what's going. Terrazon says, Disney Plus is down here. No luck. Terrazon, I actually, maybe I should go right off the bat with talking about that because I experienced the same thing too. Luckily, I got on this morning about 4:30 and got and downloaded the app on, on PlayStation and got to watch the first episode of Mandalorian pretty much uninterrupted. And I'm glad I got to because now for some reason it won't play on my PlayStation. Yeah. Yeah, quite obviously they're working through some bugs, and honestly I think this is something that they should have started a while back. They should have at least let us download the app, and they should have been working on this a lot sooner. I mean, we all know exactly what happened, as far as like the movie theaters and everything. When Avengers Endgame tickets went on sale, it broke the internet for pretty much the whole day. And you would think at this point Disney would have learned from that. And of course, obviously that wasn't their fault with the theater ticketing apps and things like that. But everything that's been going on with society these days, with the internet and just everything going on, companies like this need to know they need to be ahead of the curve. They should have at least had the app available for download ahead of time, and they should have had programs ready to go. And they could have had them easy. They could have easily had everything blocked on there. And that's just kind of where I stand with that. I mean, obviously, it's never going to be a perfect system that they have going on here. But this morning already, I'm noticing that this thing it's already. I wouldn't say it's falling apart, but I would say they haven't got the wheels on yet. Okay, they've got the engine in the car. They've got everything ready to go. They've got the driver. The driver's in the driver's seat, but they're sitting there. They've got it gassed up, but they're sitting there waiting to get all the wheels put on to get this thing off the ground, and to get this thing started. And to me, that's where the downfall already is. Now, I'm not gonna go just off, just way off base here on these kinds of things, and be upset about it because I mean, obviously it's a new service and it's going to be, at first, obviously everybody this morning is sitting there trying to download it, trying to get onto the service and watch all of the shows that are available to stream through this service so far. And there's quite a bit on there, and I noticed it keeps updating. Like even on my phone, it was being wonky. Where you can go through and search. They had Disney, they had Pixar, they had Marvel, they had, National Geographic, and just all of and Star Wars. They have all these different things there along the top, and it keeps changing. Like I got on my app several times, and like 1 second, all of a sudden it's just Disney and Star Wars, and it's just Star Wars and Marvel, then it's just Disney, and like obviously these are things that they should have had set up a lot sooner. They had to know that pretty much a good majority of people who wanted this service were going to be ready for it the second that it became available. So I myself feel like they should have had the app available for download even sooner than they have had it available for download, and they should have had programs on there ready to go. And I'll get right back to that in just a second. So far here we got Wu Tang Wells. Thank you so much for being here. Tara Zahn. These are two of my Patreon supporters. Very very great people. Um, let's see, and thank you to all my Patreon supporters who ever make it here onto the live streams, and just thank you for, in general, for supporting the channel in that way. I do greatly, greatly appreciate that. So let's see. Wu Tang Wells says, okay, Tarazan said her Disney Plus is down, and Wu Tang Wells is watching The Mandalorian right now. He says, I signed up on Disney Plus for the Hulu package, charged it on my PayPal. I then downloaded the app to my iPhone and wasn't able to sign in to the accounts I created. Now I had to sign up for the second time with my Apple ID being charged twice. I would definitely get a hold of them about that. It's pretty buggy so far. I'll give you that. Pert Minded, thank you so much for being here. Wu Tang Wells also says, when I call Disney Plus support number, basically any option to choose on the phone will ultimately hang up on you and even prevent you from calling back. Oh man, that is absolutely crazy. Now when I call them, it says, call failed from my cell phone. I get being a new service, but come on now. Exactly. Exactly. Tara says, yeah, the Disney should have been allowed a lot sooner. It's Disney, so I expected better. Yeah, exactly. The download should have been allowed a lot sooner. I agree with that. I mean, they can easily give the app the download and then block all the content and let people just see what's on there. Let you browse through the titles and things like that. I mean, these are people who ordered it. We already paid. We already paid the money. We already paid the money. Why can't we get on the app and check? And even if you didn't pay for the service, why can't you get on the app and scroll through and see what all the things are on there? I mean, see if you want it. I mean, sure, there's a 7-day free trial, but think about those people with a 7-day free trial. Right now, as of before I got on the stream, they were still kind of updating everything on there. And like I said, I can't, after watching Mandalorian the first time, I can't even get on the PlayStation and get it to actually upload or to even to play on anything. It says, problems connecting to the Disney Plus service, please check back later and all this stuff. We already paid our money, guys. This should be available. Okay, again, I'm not going to be too upset at them, but you had time. We've known this whole year that Disney Plus was coming. This whole year. The whole year. How many days do we have left in the year? Yeah, take those days that we have left in the year minus those from 365, okay? So they've had over 300 days to get this thing right. Okay? There's no excuse for this. There's absolutely zero excuse for this. And anybody who did that 7-day free trial thing, I didn't look into that if they have that actually available. I'm sure they do. I've been hearing that from everybody. Is some people are already wasting one of their days. They're already wasting away, guys. Come on. We need to get this thing together. There's absolutely no excuse for it. No excuse for it. Pert Minded says this should be a day thing, hopefully. 10 originals, only one good show. Yeah, and for me, there's a whole lot of things going on here already. I've seen just updating on the site as they are obviously they're updating it, and I'll get into that in just a minute. Dylan's rant says, Trinity, dude, the Mandalorian show was fire. Not much else on the app besides that, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot more content coming. It's just the first day launch. Exactly. And with that being said, Dylan, I think you're absolutely right. And the first day launch is, to me, the reason why there should be no excuses. The first day launch is exactly why they should have all of these things available. They should have this app already working without problems. They've had the whole year to get it ready. The whole year. We knew clear back last year that this was going to be coming out. We knew that they were going to be pulling programs from their other service providers and things like that. We've known that this was coming. They've had the whole year to prepare for this. We get here on day one and it's not working. It's buggy. It's acting up. They're adding programs to it. They're getting everything worked out. Disney, if you guys were out there listening, I'm telling you, you don't have to be mad at me. I'm not saying that you guys suck, but come on. There's really no excuse for this. There's absolutely no excuse for this. And, you guys can be, Disney, you can be mad at me, you can look at you can do to me like you guys did the Den of Nerds, and you can blacklist me pretty probably like you probably have much of the people in the fandom menace, probably anybody that follows. You guys got your blockchain going on here in real life. The thing is guys, Disney, we're all giving you our money, we're all on board here. Maybe not everybody loves you, but guys, there's no reason for this. There's absolutely no reason for this. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm kind of getting myself worked up here. You know what I'm saying? Pretty soon, I'm gonna be sitting here turning red in the face, just like I would on the Trailer Park Live when I start to go on one of my rants, and I'm gonna start cursing and yelling and screaming. And I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But seriously, how do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel that you guys have paid for this service, especially you, Wu-Tang Wells? You've paid for this service and all of a sudden you can't access it. All of these things are already going wrong with it. There's no reason. There's absolutely no excuse for this. Like I said, when those Avengers Endgame tickets went on sale and it broke the internet, I think it broke all the ticketing sites. They should have doubled down with all of their people working in tech over there at Disney and said, hey guys, we cannot have this happen. The programs that I've seen on Disney Plus so far are all ones that have been around. They're nothing new. They should have had all the time to have these get them uploaded to their servers and had them all ready to go. This stuff should have been available months ago. It should have been ready to go months ago. Should have been ready to go. I'm not saying that it had to be they're available for us to watch or anything months ago or anything. I'm not saying that. You had your launch date set, but you should have had everything ready to go. There's no excuse for it. Absolutely none. Dylan's Rand says, I agree, they should have been more ready. They said on their site they had a lot more people sign up than they expected, but it's like, how would you not know everyone's been waiting for this app? And that, preaching to the choir here, man. Perp Minded says, Falcon and Winter Soldier show is not coming out for another few months. That's going to be a long wait. Yeah, it is going to be a long. And I believe Falcon and Winter Soldier isn't coming out till right after Black Widow comes out at the movie theater. So, they've got time for that. And honestly, that was really what I wanted the service for, is more for the Marvel content. Of course, like when it comes to Star Wars, I pretty much own all the movies and everything anyway, except for Solo. I pretty much own all that stuff anyway. Same with the Marvel stuff. Same with the Marvel content. I own all of those movies. The movie side of things. And yeah, it's gonna be a long wait for that. And anybody that's out there that's not boycotting Disney or Disney Plus or anything like that, we see there's plenty of those people out there. The thing is that's okay to wait. There's absolutely no problem to wait, especially if they got that 7-day free trial. If they got a 7-day free trial and you're not wanting to give Disney your money, just absolutely wait until the week the week of, or maybe the day of, that the last episode of The Mandalorian is going to come out. If you're into the Star Wars thing, wait until that day. Order the service, do the 7-day free trial, then you have a whole week to watch every single one of the episodes for free. You don't have to spend the money on it. And that's something else I wanted to talk about too, because and I'll get into that in just a minute. But yeah, it's gonna be kind of a long wait, especially at this point. Now that we have it there at our fingertips, we're gonna be salivating for it. Dylan's Rand says, I completely agree. They should have been more ready for this. Exactly how it was with DC Universe app. It's like I thought Disney Plus was gonna be a step up from that. Exactly. Terzon says, I finally got it loaded. It looks good. It looks good AF. I'm not saying that here on the morning show, but we all know what you mean. Yeah, it looks good AF visually. The rest of my day will be nostalgic indulgence in classic Disney. Might invite my mom over. You know what? You should. That would actually be good. And that's something, honestly, for me, aside from seeing some of this Marvel content and The Mandalorian, these two shows, the one thing I was looking forward to is getting a lot of the classic Disney movies that I grew up with. Because one thing I've been wanting to watch, I've been meaning to buy it on DVD, and now I don't really have to, right? At least not for a little while, is Pete's Dragon, the original Pete's Dragon. I want to get on there and I want to see him talking about Passamaquoddy. No, Passamamimi. No, Passamama. You know what I'm saying. Pete's Dragon, man. That was one of the my absolute favorites when I was growing up, man. I loved, my grandma. She, we were pretty much raised on Disney movies and stuff. My grandma owned all of those on VHS. She probably still does, and that's really what I'm looking for too. Is that classic nostalgia of all those Disney movies that came before. Say what you will about Disney. You can hate Disney, Star Wars all you want. You can hate the MCU all you want. But you know what, guys? Come on. A lot of us were raised on some of these classic Disney movies, and this is something I'm highly looking forward to. Something else that would be cool, and of course, that's something that Disney will never own, is we need those original cuts of Star Wars. Give us the classic versions of them. Give us where Han shot first, man. Come on, man. You want to make some. If Disney wants to make some money, they would give George the money and bring that to their platform instead of just all the jazzed up ones where they changed everything and all that. That's what we want. We want that old classic Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think I own a copy of the original Star Wars as they were originally presented. Dylan's Rant says, Trinity, you enjoyed The Mandalorian. Though we'll go ahead and we'll get into that in just a minute. Dylan's Rant says, Pert-minded, man, I don't understand why so long until the Marvel shows. Mandalorian isn't enough to hold me over. I need that Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, I'm telling you, I do too. Because I've got so many theories floating in my head about Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then with the reveal of the Loki show going under the under the production title of Limbo. At first I was sitting there like, man, that kind of makes me go back to the drawing board about some of my thoughts that I expressed last week when I was talking about the Avengers issue number 10 from 1964. But it started making me think like, no. This is going to make me go more crazy with some of these theories because it actually even feeds into my theories even more. Pert Minded says there's a lack of 4K HDR content. I didn't really pay attention to that. I don't own a 4K TV, so for me, that's not really anything. Disney think they slick. Mad they don't have dead presidents on Disney Plus, right? They should. I mean, they should. And maybe those are kinds of things that are going to come out on through the Hulu app and some of those different things. Dylan says I own all Star Wars but Rogue One and the Clone Wars animated. I got to get those eventually to add to my collection. Yeah, I don't have any of the cartoons. I just have the movies. When it comes to Star Wars, I'm largely a normie. Like they were huge parts of my childhood when I was growing up. But again, they're not. I'm not into like a whole lot of the lore. I've never read any of the books, the EU or anything like that. Oh man, I better turn that off. Let's see. Minded, I really do, but we see you, Disney, right? HBO Max is going to kill them. And again, I'm not sure about what they got going on with HBO and all that stuff. I'm probably I've got Netflix, Amazon, and now Disney Plus. I'm not sure how much how many other services I'm gonna be paying for. Kobe Reviews Movies, thank you so much for being here. He says, hello, I'm watching The Mandalorian very soon. Kobe, I think you're going to enjoy it. Pert-minded, Disney needs to make a Kingdom Hearts series. I've never watched or heard of Kingdom Hearts. I believe that's a game, is it not? I could be wrong there. Dylan's Rant says, right, they need to put all the old Disney classic movies, forget like the ones that came out the last 10 years. I want the classics on this app. There's so much more they can do with this app. Yeah, and I think they're probably slowly uploading more of that stuff on there, but again, they should have had this ready. They should have had them all ready to go. But I can see some of the ones that I'm looking for they already have on there. Terrazon says, I actually still have the VHS versions. Wow, nice. HBO Max will rake in cash, though. Yeah, oh yeah, they will. HBO has plenty of great original content in the first place. Like, they were some of the first ones to come up with a lot of these, like, series like everybody's doing now. These kind of, I guess you would say, like, higher production kind of series that are more like TV shows. Like, I remember Oz when I was, back in the 90s. I think that was late 90s, maybe early 2000s. The TV show Oz that was about all the people locked up there in prison and everything. Obviously, they did The Sopranos, Nurse Jackie, and some of those great shows that I really enjoyed watching. Pert Minded says, or Disney needs to take a risk and make a little bit more mature content and just call it Disney for grown-ups. Yeah, they do. They absolutely should. 19K Fox, thank you so much for being here. Okay, so yeah, now obviously on this Disney Plus service, they've got a whole lot of things on there, and I was the one thing I got to say, like when I first got on there, I see they changed it now, but when I first got on there, I seen I checked the Marvel content, and I went and they had Agent Carter on there. I was like, yes, Agent Carter. Whew, I like that. I like that. I'm not sure if you guys watched the Agent Carter TV show, but I really liked it when it was on TV on what was that on ABC if I'm not mistaken. And I liked the Agent Carter series. And guys, to me, I know not everybody likes it, but I honestly like I always watched the Agents of Shield TV show. I like that TV show. It was pretty good. And guys, if you know me here, plenty of times I talk about I don't really watch TV shows. I'm not really into them and all that stuff. Haven't watched really any of them. I still haven't even finished The Boys. You know what I'm saying? I watched episode one. That was it. But I've got to say, like, Agents of Shield always had me. It had me in from the very get go, and part of that was because of Clark Gregg. I like Clark Gregg, and as Agent Coulson, he drew me in. Season one was pretty good, and I remember at the end of season one, I'm like, you guys got to step it up here with your writing and this on this TV show because Clark Gregg can only carry the show so far. And eventually they did start to step it up. It finally started to get better after that first season, and it was one that I really enjoyed. I don't see it on the app, and I'm wondering if they're going to at some point, or if they're going to leave that to like Hulu or whatnot, one of their other services. But I was glad to see that they had Agent Carter on there. But when I got on there this morning and checked Agent Carter, all they had was season two, and I'm like, why would you start with season two? Why don't you have season one uploaded? But then I got on there later before I got here on the show and seen that they had season one on there as well. I'm like, okay, like, whew, dodged a bullet there, Disney, because I would have been criticizing you for that one for sure. But I'm glad to see that the Agent Carter is at least on there. And of course, we don't have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on there, but we got the Inhumans. The Inhumans? You guys put the Inhumans on there, which actually kind of makes me laugh. Why would they have the Inhumans on there if they're not going to allow R-rated content? You got the Inhumans on there, and if I'm not mistaken, they were trying to be hip on that show, and they were all like smoking weed, and they had the weed plants and everything that the people were growing there. They were like, okay. So, like, you're okay with that, but not putting R-rated content onto your channel. I don't know. And then there was actually some other things that I noticed. My kids, they like watching like The Descendants and everything, and they have that. What is that other show, Allie and Liv, or Liv and Allie, or something like that? With what's her name, Dove Cameron, where she's playing, the twin sisters and everything. And I don't know. I noticed they were taking just some different punches at just law enforcement and things like that. Which yeah, whatever. I feel how you want about that, but I'm just like, Disney, you guys are going there, man. What? Like, you're covertly throwing shade, and you're doing it through children's programming. I'm onto you, Disney, but you guys have always been like this too, as well. With some of those, just those things in there, kind of trying to be sly and under the radar stuff a kid might not notice or really think about at the time. But once you get older, you realize it. All the innuendos and things like that. Yeah. Again, the service itself, it really depends on who you are. If you want this service, for me, I've got kids. You know what I mean? I've got kids, so I've been pretty much invested in Disney. A lot of my life. Now, I'm not so invested that I'm one of these people that's like, that's mad at everything they do, and they're gonna boycott, and just all of these different things. That's not where my fandom lies. Like, I just I enjoy things, and there's stuff I don't like. I just don't like it. It's no big deal to me. And so yeah, there's the service seems pretty good now. Again, of course, it comes down to what you want to see. Another thing that I noticed too is, okay, you guys got the National Geographic stuff on there, and guys, where's my Jeff Goldblum series? You got that stuff right on the top of the banner there where you scroll through and you look, and I can't even watch my Jeff Goldblum Discovers the World or whatnot, or The World According to Jeff Bloom, or whatever it's called, man. Where is my Jeff Goldblum series? This should have been ready to go, man. This should have been ready to go. I need my Jeff Goldblum. So yeah, but altogether, the service itself, I think is going to end up being, if you're into this kind of content, something I think you should probably definitely look into. Go look into that free trial and things like that. I myself, got one of those emails from Disney where you pay for 3 years ahead of time, and you save $40. So I saved $40 already. Thank you, Disney, for letting me save $40. Yeah. Anyway, I'm kidding there with that. I took advantage of that because I probably, I'm like, oh, 3 years. I'm gonna have it for 3 years anyway. I might as well go ahead and save, go ahead and get it, and save $40. You know what I'm saying? And who really knows how much you're saving there, right? So yeah, so again, the service, it's all going to depend on you, if this is something you want to see. But the Mandalorian, guys, that obviously that was the first thing I got on and watched this morning. I think it was about 4:30 here, here on the West Coast. So for you guys out there on the East Coast, the sun was already up, and you were probably already at work by the time I watched it. And you probably already had your video up, your reactions, and all that stuff. Because we gotta be the first one out there, man. We gotta get those views. We gotta be the first one to react and do our review and stuff like that. And me, guys, like for me, there are things that I want to be not necessarily first on, but things that where I know I can gain more traction. There's so many people out there doing reactions of the Mandalorian and the Disney Plus and all this and that who have bigger platforms than me, who have more subscribers and all that stuff. I don't clickbait on things, or try to be the first onto some of these things where I know there's going to be more people out there that are going to have the content before I do and have access to it and things like that. People on the East Coast, for the most part, hey man, you got me beat. It's going to be hard to keep up with you, but I do have the edge in one department. I'm not going to get into that, but um, altogether, I got on and watched The Mandalorian. And if you guys already watched The Mandalorian, please let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. Leave any of your comments on it, and I'm going to go ahead and get here into the chat really quick. And if there's any of them that you want me to read, please make sure that you tag me in there. Just hit the little at Second Street Marvel, so it highlights me there in the chat, as I can see Ken Mack has already done. And thank you so much for being here, Ken Mack. Stu Jersey X, what is up, my brother? Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Pert Minder says yes, it's a game. Dylan's rant says I have had DC Universe since it launched, but I canceled for Disney Plus. I plus the only show I watch on DC is Titans. Since everything else is over, they should be charging like $2 to $3 less for the DC Universe. I never watched any of that stuff. I'm not really big on like the DC universe or anything. I know I probably should be, especially here with the channel. I'm making content here on YouTube. I definitely should be, but again, I'm not really into a whole lot of the TV shows or anything neither. This just happens to be convenient for like the Mandalorian and all those that they're there on the service that I was probably gonna get anyway. Having 3 kids. And Stu Jersey X, thank you so much for being here. Stu Jersey says Agents of Shield is one of my favorite TV shows. It's underrated, and I've got to agree with you there, Stu Jersey X. It is one of my favorite TV shows, especially as far as so what we've got with like the Marvel stuff. I really do like it. I do think it's underrated. However, I won't overrate it myself neither. I do like it for what it is, though. There's just they did a lot of cool things in the movie or in the TV show, and for probably for what the production budget is of it, I thought it was actually pretty good. And I like a lot of the actors that are in it. I mean, they play their parts pretty well throughout the whole series. Um, and you know what? I didn't catch the last season of Agents of Shield at all, and I need to go check those out because again, you know. I like the Agents of Shield. I need to go back and check it out, man. I'm totally guilty. I'm admitting that right here. Per Minus says people are going to be Disney Plus and chill now, right? Disney Plus one. You know what I'm saying? Dylan Rand says I watched first couple of seasons of Agents of Shield. Those TV shows are hard to binge. 24 episodes per season with hour-long episodes. But Agent Carter, I gotta watch only. Only watch the first couple episodes. Yeah, and the Agents of Carter one is one I really liked when that one came out. Studios EX says, I thought mature content will be on Hulu. Yeah, right? And, again, like, I'm not sure why they got Inhumans on there. It was a complete train wreck. Dylan Rand says, I have spoken, yes. Disney Plus has a serious lack of content, of black content, too. Yeah, yeah. They don't even have Black Panther on there yet, but that's probably due to like things that they have worked out with like Netflix and stuff, because I think that's still on there. Ken Max says, Second Street Marvel, how long is each episode and how are you doing, brother? I'm doing very well, thank you for asking, Ken. And I believe the first episode of The Mandalorian was about 45 minutes, and it was a good 45 minutes. Pert Minded says, Dylan, the DC Universe stuff is going to be merging with HBO Max. Interesting. So yeah, The Mandalorian. I did get a chance to, like I said, I did get a chance to get on and watch that. And guys, I gotta say, I really liked it. It was really good. I won't say that it was great, but it was a really good start in the right direction for maybe people who haven't been enjoying what Disney has done with Star Wars so far. I thought it was really, really well done. The episode starts off, kind of jumps right into the action, and then kind of slows down a bit as we get just some of the, I don't know, it really felt like we're in the Star Wars universe, but it felt a little bit different, as it should. And you could see that they were kind of world building here, just some interesting things going on. Now I kind of felt the, like, when they started off the show and it kind of jumped right into the action, I almost felt like it was a little too soon. Like they did that on purpose to kind of really draw you in and make you want to watch the series. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But it almost feels like, like they're tugging at the old member berries as well. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to pull you there and bring you into that, which is something they need to do. They need to get people into the show, people watching this show, and there's absolutely no reason you shouldn't want to watch the show. So, but I thought it was pretty good. The production value of the show, I thought, was really good for being one of these TV shows. As we know, they are trying to build upon what they've already what's been established and what they've been doing since Disney has owned the Star Wars property. And I think this is probably a step in the right direction. Again, the production value was there. I didn't really see a whole lot of things wrong as far as like cinematics and things like that. It was all done pretty basic. A lot of great things happening. They like the sounds of it. They used. I like how they used a lot of like the score throughout the show. A lot of it really harkened back to a lot of, like, the original trilogy kind of music, and then adding in a little bit of new spice, a little bit of new flavor, some updated sounds and things like that. As far as the score is concerned. Now the Foley, as far as like sound effects and things like that, they are using a lot of the classic sound effects and using some updated versions as well, just trying to mix things up a little bit. I think they struck a pretty good balance of old and new in the TV show so far. I think it's something that will definitely, I think it's going to appeal to a lot of people, even a lot of the people out there who haven't enjoyed what Disney has been doing with Star Wars. I think this will appeal to them. Of course, there are people out there who are pretty set against Disney and Marvel already in the first place, and just Disney and Star Wars in the first place, and hopefully this is a step to hopefully reel them in. Hopefully you to help right that ship for those people who have been highly critical of Disney and Star Wars so far. And I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. Um, let's see. Pert Miner says, I wish The Mandalorian was TVMA at least. I want a Maul series. Yeah, Maul series would be great. And I didn't check the rating on it, but it should be at least TVMA. And I don't know, because I think MA would still necessarily fall kind of under a PG-13 banner. And if I'm not wrong, I believe all the Star Wars films are PG-13. So I don't see why they couldn't. I mean, why not keep it there? Yeah, and I agree with you. Aggressively relaxing. Thank you so much for being here. Says bed knobs and broomsticks. Whoop whoop. Angela Lansbury for life. Inhumans is underrated. See, for me, I don't think it's underrated. I think, like, I wasn't big on the Inhumans. Like, maybe it's because, and I didn't have like high expectations for the show, but I expected more out of it. But I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was like, it wasn't the worst thing out there, but again, for me, it wasn't that great. And Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, yes. I actually bought that one on DVD. I'm gonna say about 2 years ago, maybe a little more than that, because that's one of those classic movies I grew up watching. Man, I mean, if you can't be into Angela Lansbury defeating the Nazis with a bunch of kids in a wardrobe, you're just letting the best things in life pass you by, brother. Seriously, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks is a classic. That's one of my favorite movies when I was growing up. And they got some of those animated sequences in there that they did and everything. Like, it's a really great movie, and that's why I'm actually looking forward to watching Pete's Dragon again, man. I haven't seen Pete's Dragon in years, and I absolutely love watching that TV show. Ken Mack says, I heard the end of the first episode of the Mandalorian was a shocking cliffhanger. Makes me want to order Disney Plus now that I heard to wait until December for the free trial. Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm not sure if the free trial is already available, but honestly, if you don't want to pay for the service yet or not, and you're kind of iffy about it, really the one thing that they have on there ready to go that's something new is the Mandalorian. I didn't check in through everything, but honestly, if you're kind of questioning that, Ken, I would definitely wait until the free trial, and I would probably wait until more of the Mandalorian series. And I said that at around the top of the show is I would definitely wait until more of the Mandalorian series has dropped, at least, or maybe even until the last episode has dropped, the week of the last episode, and I say the week of. So then you have time to watch each episode and then get the full series, and you got your free trial right there. And you have time to go out there and see what all they have on the platform and see if it's worth the money for you to go ahead and purchase. And that's if you ask me. I wouldn't blame anybody out there for being weary of wanting to get this service, especially if you're one of the people out there who has not liked what Disney has been doing with any of their properties. If you're one of those people out there who's been highly critical of Disney, absolutely wait. Absolutely wait until, like I said, that last week of the last Mandalorian. Now, the other thing is, obviously, throughout the course of everything, you're going to get spoilers. If you're on social media, you're going to hear all the whoop-de-woos and everything, going on out there. So, again, a lot of times when it comes to these kinds of things, everybody's got to be the first to talk about it. They've got to be the first to put their reaction up, the first to do a review, the first to do a spoiler review, the first to do all of these things. And unfortunately, a lot of people out there who just aren't on board with it, who may not have the money for the service and things like that, are the ones who suffer for that. And you got to think about people in other countries who don't have access to the Disney Plus service as well, who are probably going to be doing what they can to pirate a service to be able to watch these TV shows. And to me, that's an absolutely sad thing that somebody has to go through with that, especially considering Disney is a worldwide company. They have interests all over the world. Why wouldn't they have this ready and available for everybody on the same day? It seems absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. So I'll agree with you there, but Ken Mack, I wouldn't I can't blame you for wanting to go ahead and step back and wait for more of the stuff to get onto the service before you take advantage of that free trial and decide from there if you wanna purchase it. But again, for me, I've got 3 kids, so to me it's completely worth it. They got a lot of that Disney programming and everything on there, and like I said, I went ahead and purchased the first of the package or whatnot. But getting back into the Mandalorian, I thought the show was really good. It starts off with a lot of action as the Mandalorian. We're introduced to the Mandalorian, and he is there hunting for a bounty that he got. And he quickly, like I said, it jumps right into the action after he gets his bounty, gets on his ship. He's already getting in a tussle with some of the different Star Wars creatures out there. Pretty cool opening sequence. Then it slows down as he takes his bounty to collect his bounty, and just some interesting things go on there on his ship. Just a lot of really great stuff. I mean, the one thing, a lot of people, will always say, give me more, give me more. I feel like I'm Britney Spears here. Give me more. But the thing is one thing, guys, when it comes to these kinds of things, is the best thing is things being shrouded in mystery. You know what I mean? We don't want everything given to us. I mean, maybe you do, maybe you're one of those people out there, you do want everything given to you. But for me, I think it's, you build mystery, you build a world, you build just kind of this whole thing there. And I think they did a good job with that in slowly introducing us to characters, slowly building this world of what exactly is going on here. And we see that, we get a lot, and again, there's a lot of classic callbacks in this TV show. We see where he ends up freezing his bounty in carbonite. Something, something we see in The Empire Strikes Back. And so that was pretty cool. He goes to collect his bounty, and we could see, he sits down there with Carl Weathers, who is in the TV show, where he's sitting there getting paid. He don't want to be paid in a certain amount of credits, and he ends up getting basically this bar, which you could equate to like a gold bar. And these are different kind of credits. They were obviously related to the Empire and things like that, but it's of this certain type of metal, and I don't know what type of metal it is. Like I said, guys, I'm more of a normie when it comes to Star Wars, but he eventually takes his earnings from this and takes it to somebody else who obviously makes armor for the Mandalorians, and they take and they melt this bar down and they make it into a piece of armor for him. And so that was pretty cool to see. And you can see that this character, obviously people know who he is. He's a bounty hunter, pretty well known. Just some pretty cool scenes there throughout. We see, one of the things I liked was there's the creature from like, you remember Jawa's little, or not Jawa's, but Jabba's little pet that he had there, the one that was all laughing all crazy and in the original trilogy, that with the little crazy ears, kind of looks like Yoda but on crack. um that creature was there, and I thought there was a pretty cool scene there that showed where we see one of these things being roasted on an open fire, like, just like a pig or something, being roasted on an open fire, and you see another creature, one of those same creatures, sitting there looking at it, kind of in fear, as he is, in a little cage, knowing that, he's soon going to meet his demise. There's all these little things that kind of added up to something that to bringing us back into this world, to step us back from what we're getting in like the prequel or in the sequel trilogy, to bring us back to more of what we got in the original trilogy. And then, so he goes out on this mission. He gets given another bounty, if you will, to go seek out, and he got this from Carl Weathers. And he goes to find out more about this mission, and he goes. That's where he gets this new bounty from the character played by Werner Herzog, or is it Werner Herzog? And I gotta tell you guys, if you guys don't know who Werner Herzog is, he's a great actor. He's a producer, film director. He does a lot of documentary type things, and he has a very distinct voice. He's the kind of guy, like, I would love to see Werner Herzog in every single episode, because he just has a presence about him. There's something like really creepy, and just what he does, what he brings to the screen is absolutely great. I'm not sure if you guys seen Jack Reacher. I mean, he's not even in that movie very much, but what he is in it is absolutely great. There are some people out there who just have this kind of aura about them, just something about them that you want to see him on the screen, kind of like a John Candy, Like when you see a John Candy on screen, you remember those John Candy movies? You see him on screen, like, you want to watch this movie because it's got John Candy in it. Werner Herzog has that, and seeing him in this TV show was really great. We see stormtroopers there with him, and they're kind of all beaten and rusted up looking, just kind of, the world looks a little bit more beat up. Now, however, the world doesn't look quite as dirty and grimy as what we got in like the original trilogy of Star Wars, but it was certainly a step there. And just kind of like even in like Rogue One, how Rogue One had a lot of that really just kind of drab looking just scenery, and it just looks all old and beat up, like, like they've been through the Clone Wars and stuff like that. Definitely some good stuff. As we got introduced to some of the characters, and then we see that the Mandalorian goes out to collect his new bounty, and that's where he comes. He goes to this new world to collect, and of course, like any, they leave a lot of mystery out there for it. We don't know what his bounty is. They never really say. He's kind of they're beating around the bush about it. So he gets there to this new world to collect his bounty. He's scoping the place out, pulls out his little scope and everything, and he's checking stuff out, and it looks just like, just everything reminiscent that we got out of the old trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're doing a bunch of callbacks. So he's sitting there scoping this place out. And again, there's a lot of things that go on throughout the series that are, you kind of see things coming. There's some predictability in the series. There's definitely some predictability there. And so he's going there to collect his new bounty, and we get introduced to a new droid. This new droid that is a bounty droid out there, and he's like, oh, great. And we can see that they eventually get together. This droid goes out and starts to take out all these bad people there, these rebels, if you will. that are protecting this whole safe haven. And is interesting how he gets there, because he has to travel to this place using this creature, and I can't remember the creature's name, that and that's where we meet Nick Nolte's character. And Nick Nolte's character that he plays in here is pretty good. Now, there was a little scene there with Nick Nolte's character where the Mandalorian is having to get on this creature and use him to ride to traverse the terrain. And this is something that his character said that he would have to do. He would need to use this creature, so he has to get used to it. And there's kind of this little scene where he's getting used to riding this animal. I felt was a little rushed, but again, this is a 45-minute TV show, and this isn't really a full movie. You got to think that the whole span of this series, of at least this first season of it, is essentially what you would want to see in a movie. It's going to kind of follow that. So really, while in each episode they're going to have the three acts for the most part, each episode is going to serve as a different act, kind of building to the final climax of the season. And I thought they did a really good job here. But again, I thought that this little montage of him getting together with this animal happened a little too quick, a little too fast. But again, it is only a 45-minute TV show, and you want to try to fit everything in there. And then we get once again some more action as as he's going after his bounty. He ends up teaming up with this droid. Who this droid is really kind of reminds you of. Again, this TV show really reminds you of like an old spaghetti western or something like that, like an old like John Wayne or Clint Eastwood movie. Probably a little more Clint Eastwoodish, a little more spaghetti western than some of those classic westerns out there. That's what this really reminded me a lot of. And so we get there, and just some humorous stuff there with the droid who keeps trying to self-destruct, and he keeps telling it to stop, which I gotta say is a little bit odd, because the protocols of this droid must be different than some of the other droids out there, because he keeps telling this droid not to self-destruct, and the droid goes ahead and follows his orders, which is kind of weird, because this droid would be have its own mission and its own set of directives. And I would think that if a droid like that sets itself to self-destruct, it's not going to listen to anybody as far as that's concerned. But just again, I'm sure they did this just to have a little bit of comic relief throughout through the TV show, which there was plenty here in the TV show to kind of make you laugh and just bring you back. Like I said, it's not too overly done neither. Like I said, a lot of it was done in the same vein as the Star Wars, the original trilogy was, where there's comic relief there, but it doesn't have to be something overtly over the top to have to make you laugh. They're not trying to draw the laughs out of you. They're just putting laughable things in there. And then I don't want to ruin exactly what happens at the end of the TV series in case you guys haven't watched it yet. But he gets there to collect his bounty, and we can see that this droid who he has chosen to start working with, they kind of come to a mutual agreement that they'll split it 50-50 or whatnot. We can see that he ends up at odds with this droid over the bounty when he sees what the bounty is. And if when you see the show and you see what the bounty is, there's one thing that there's a few sacred things, no matter who you are, that there's just a line you don't cross. There's a line you just simply don't cross unless you're just an absolute turd, which they exist. And it comes down to morals. It's more of a moral thing, and you can see that he's already here being reluctant, where his bounty is obviously pulling on on things that he thinks are probably morally wrong. And at this point, you can already see he's wrestling with, great, I've got this bounty, I'm supposed to take this bounty, I'm supposed to deliver this to somebody. And you can already tell that he's going to struggle with that, just due to what the bounty is. And the mystery behind this bounty is really quite an interesting one. Really, really quite interesting. And they did a lot of good things in this TV show in bringing you back into the world. I really felt a little more like our classic Star Wars. They bring you into the world, and just, man, like you're immersed in it. Now, it doesn't, like I said, it feels like they kind of pulled a few cheap kind of tricks in there to bring you back into, tugging on those member berries a little bit. in building this world, which I don't see anything wrong with that, because they need to do that to bring in to reel back in viewers, people who have, I guess you could say, dissented, if you will, from what Disney has done with Star Wars. They did a lot of good things here, and what they did here at the very end was definitely good. And then the show ends with, like, the ending credits and everything. They have all of this artwork and everything. It was probably not just concept artwork, but just artwork that they were using to go off of before they were going to film. Really great, beautiful artwork as the end credits started rolling. Just some really good stuff, and it really pulls you back into that classic Star Wars that a lot of us are used to and probably want to see more of altogether. I think they did a good job bringing this series so far. I mean, bringing us back. Now, for some people aren't going to like it. Some people are already of the vein, of the opinions. They're not going to like it and stuff like that. You know, and again, I haven't watched anybody else's reaction to it, aside from Josh over at the Den of Nerds and LB over at the Lonely Banter. I've watched both of their reactions to it, and I think largely they kind of felt the same way that I did about it too. Where it's good, it's not great. I think for me it's great. It's a great start. It's a great start. But again, this is only the first of the whole series, and we're gonna have more. We're gonna have issue number two. See, I'm so used to talking about comics. We're gonna have episode 2 coming on Friday. And so I'm guessing that's going to drop in early in the morning too. So maybe I'll wake up early on Friday and check that out so we can talk about that on the Trailer Park Live. But altogether, guys, I think they started this series off on the right foot. It really does feel more of like a throwback to our more classic Star Wars. I think they did a very good job here. Um, let's see. Terrazon says, I love bed knobs and broomsticks so much. I always imagine flying on my bed. Believe me, Terrazon, when I was little, yeah, we used to do that too. We used to do that too. Sit there, with like our bed was gonna take off flying and everything. Definitely, definitely. Um, Aggressively relaxed says, autocorrect changed my woo to whoop. I wanted a Ric Flair. Oh yeah, Ric Flair. Yeah, not Zoidberg. I gotcha. Woo! Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Um, Pert Minded says, seems like there are a lot of other shows that are coming out on the service and are going to be a lot of remakes. I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are. Yeah. Dylan's Rant says, Ken Mack, if you're a big Star Wars fan and want to be in the loop, I'd say yes, it's a must-see. Or wait a couple of weeks for a couple episodes to stack up so you can binge. $5.99 or $6.99 a month, not a bad price. Yeah, and like I said, if you're waiting for that free trial, by all means, if you don't mind the spoilers and everything that you're going to see on YouTube and all these different things, by all means, absolutely wait. I don't see anything wrong with anybody out there that's weary of the service, that's a little bit leery about going out there and purchasing it or anything like that. I absolutely understand that with the way a lot of people feel about what Disney has done so far. I won't knock anybody for doing that, but I would say if you're definitely if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll want to watch this series, and definitely wait till more of the series has dropped before you check that out. Um, Pert Minded says, also, I see that there's a Sister Act 3 in development. Who will they get to star in that? Tiffany Haddish? Probably so. Probably so. Dylan's Rant says, yeah, like Trinity said, depends on how much a fan you are of Star Wars. I'm a huge fan, so a must-see for me. But for some else, it might not be important to let all episodes drop. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pert Minus says, Second Street, it's issues like this that make people pirate TV shows and movies. You don't have to worry about none of this technical issues. That's very true. Stacy's Fat Stacks, thank you so much for being here. Says, love the shirt. Oh yeah, absolutely. Stormtroopers of Death. Woo! I actually got this shirt from a SOD show. I seen them at the oh god, where was it? It was at the Bottleneck in Lawrence, Kansas. And the Bottleneck, man, I'm telling you, if you've never been to the Bottleneck, it's small. It's basically a bar. It's not much bigger than a bar, and the stage is only about knee high. And believe me, my knees smacked that stage quite a bit that time. But yeah, I got that time I got to meet Dan Lilker, Scott Ian, and Billy Milano. And Billy Milano is just like everybody says he is. He's a prick, and he's kind of full of himself. But again, I kind of expected that, and I had no problem with it. You know what I mean? You know when you meet somebody and you kind of know, like, this person's kind of an ass. He is definitely that, and he lived up to it. Which, I'd almost feel disappointed if he didn't live up to it. You know what I mean? That's like if you ever meet Keanu Reeves and he's an ass, be disappointed because the dude is not an ass. He's a great guy. He's very nice. He acknowledged me one day when when I actually bumped into him down in Hollywood. So yeah, like certain people have their reputations, and it's like if they're not an ass, and they're supposed to be an ass, you're gonna be a little disappointed. Biden Touch says, don't do the free trial. It links your phone camera to Bob Iger so he can look at your wee wee. I'm glad I wasn't drinking when you said that, Biden. That's hilarious. Ken Max says, "Yeah, that's what I was saying. Thanks, brother." Yeah, yeah, certainly. I mean, absolutely. I would if you're a little bit leery, wait. Just go ahead and wait until some of it has dropped by that time some of the bugs will be worked out on the app and everything as well. Because believe me, for me this morning, it's pretty frustrating. I'm glad I got on and got to watch the show. And it seems like they probably waited until like the push when a lot of people were viewing it, and then they started downloading more stuff. Because I was actually watching Young Ripa's video where he was talking about it, and his stuff started jacking up on him right there as he was going through the site. Like all of a sudden, certain things weren't showing up, then all of a sudden they show up, and then all of a sudden just man, I'm telling you, they should have been prepared for this. They should have been prepared for this. Aggressively relaxing says, "Mom, I don't watch TV. There are bored children in other countries that would love to have the content. Now sit there and watch." Right? Dude didn't recognize the medal. Didn't recognize. Dude didn't recognize the medal they gave him. Dislike, unsubscribe. Yeah, well, I don't know what kind of medal it is. I'm sorry. Like I said, when it comes to Star Wars, I'm a normie. I'm a normie, I am. And I can't remember what they called it because they did call it out in the show. But again, I only watched it once. Guys. So again, feel free to beat me up in the comments and unsubscribe and dislike, just like Aggressively Relaxing did. I'm watching you, Aggressively. I'm watching you. You son of a. Connects to Salacious Scum. Yeah, they're making Salacious Scum crumb sandwiches. Pyrite, yes, Pyrite. Wu-Tang Wells, welcome back. He said, just finished The Mandalorian. Well, what did you think about it? What did you think about it? Perry Comics, thank you so much for being here. Wu-Tang Wells says, correct, different droid. Looks almost identical as it's the same kind of droid. What do droids do with a bounty anyhow? Exactly. I mean, do they upload their maybe they get upgrade their bodies and stuff? I have no clue. It does seem a little bit funny. Hashtag droid lives matter. Aggressively Relaxing says it would be a good hustle for a bounty hunter to show up in Jedi robes armed with a lightsaber. Right? Definitely. And I always wonder, did any other Jedis go rogue and become bounty hunters? If not, why not? But that would be very good. Oh, Perry Comics says, "Hey Dylan, Aggressively Relaxing and Wu-Tan hand Biden. What?" Oh man, I'm True Skills. What's up, my brother? How you doing? I'm True Skills says, "Is Disney Plus worth it?" I'm True Skills. I'll tell you. It really depends on you, on what you want to see, on what content you want. I'll tell you one thing I was upset about was that, because I wanted to get on there, I wanted to watch that Jeff Goldblum series right off the bat. Yeah, can't watch it. It's not there. It's not available yet. But I wish it was. It seems like what they launched with, as far as like their original content that they were making exclusively for Disney Plus it seemed like Mandalorian was the big push, and rightfully so. That's fine. But I feel like they should have had more ready for it. I think they should have been more ready for it. I think there's absolutely no excuse why they shouldn't be ready. None. They have no excuses. They have no excuses why they weren't ready. They have no excuses why the app keeps updating and all of those different things. There's no excuse for it. They've known all year that they were going to do this. They've known all year. And I went on about that at the very top of the show, so you can go back and watch some of that, me getting ready to go mad and rant like I do on the Trailer Park Live. But yeah, I mean they should have been ready for this. Wu Tang Mo says I enjoyed the Mandalorian. Well done. I did too. It wasn't great. It wasn't great, but it was a great start. It was a great start to start building this world and moving forward with what they've got, what they've got on there. I'm True Skill says Moon Knight. Moon Knight is one. Oh man, Moon Knight is one of my favorite characters in Marvel. Yeah, and I've never really been big into Moon Knight. I don't really know a whole lot about the character. I will tell you, I do not know much about Moon Knight. Just a little bit from what I remember, like in like what was that Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the first one. I just know some of the stuff from there, and just a few of the things that I've read about the character. But I'm not really big into Moon Knight, but I could certainly understand people being fanatical about Moon Knight because he is definitely a cool character. Um, did Asajj Ventress for a while bounty hunt, even Maul in the EU? I think. Okay, yeah, could be. Again, I'm more of a normie when it comes to like the EU and stuff like that. So I don't know. If you want to know more about the EU, I would definitely highly suggest that you go check out my boy Lord Callus. He absolutely knows his stuff, and even Ryan Keno over at Arcade's Outpost, he definitely knows his stuff as well. So those are two. Those are two of the ones that I know of that really know their EU content that you should definitely look into. Um, Print Minus says, I would like to see a Jedi or Sith be so powerful he doesn't need a lightsaber to beat somebody's ass. Yeah, yeah, certainly. And I think they're out there. I think that a lot of times they're going to pull their lightsabers for the most part because their opposition is pulling a lightsaber. You know what I mean? And why bring a knife to a gunfight or something like that? You know what I mean? Why why bring a or yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a good analogy for Star Wars. um Dylan says, Trinity, did you not see my message? They have the Gold Boom series available. I'm watching the first episode right now. Go to the Disney Plus originals. Okay, see, I was gonna say, and maybe that's just part of what they were going through this morning with trying to get the app updated. Because I went and clicked on it, and it just said series details. It didn't have the series available to watch. So I'm definitely going to get on and watch that because that's one I definitely was looking forward to as well to see that George that Jeff Goldblum series. So I'm gonna have to. That's probably one of the things I'll be watching today. Um, Perry Comics says now playing in my car as I drive to get lunch. All right, awesome. Perry, are you streaming right now? Are you streaming as in your car as you're getting ready to go get lunch? Because I'm on to you, buddy, with those streams, man. I already told you last night. Pretty soon we're gonna get lurking as Perry takes a dump. And if you guys aren't already, go check out Perry Comics, man. He's absolutely great creator. Does these live streams where that he calls lurking, where he goes through and lurks on the comic book community and just kind of gives shouts out and just kind of promotes a lot of the channels out there. Absolutely great guy. Last God, was that on Thursday, Perry? When I shot a video for his comic book reviews. I did a quick little 2-minute review there on his channel. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty good stuff. So yeah, make sure you go check out Perry Comics. Plus, Perry Comics, he's just a cool guy. He's got a great attitude and a great presence while he's on screen. Biden Touch says, I made the host crack up, leaving on a high note. I'm out, folks. All right. Are you like George? Are you going Costanza on us? Can't stand you. Can't stand you. Yeah, and yeah, that was good, Biden. Biden, you almost made me choke on my water after I read your comment. Dylan's Rand says, "Yeah, I'm getting in trouble with anything that's not a Disney original." Huh? Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, altogether, I thought that again, I think Disney should have been more prepared for this launch. The Mandalorian was great. We've already hit an hour, folks. So guys, tonight I believe at God, what would that be? I believe at 2 p.m. Here on the West Coast. So if you're out on the East Coast, that would be 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be hopping on with LB from the Lonely Banter. We're going to be doing a live stream talking about the Disney Plus service and things like that. And as always, don't forget that Drunk 3PO, over on Drunk 3PO's channel, there's going to be some Black Guys and a Drunk show that goes on every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. You should go check out some Black Guys and a Drunk. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it to that panel today after being able to do LB stream. I am going to do my best, but I've got to get some comic book reviews recorded for the week, for this week, getting ready to come up. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it there, but I'm going to do my best so I can be there on the panel for some Black Guys in a Drunk. It's always fun to get together with different creators. Like I said, I'm going to have fun with LB over on his channel, and I always have fun getting together with a lot of my Fandom Menace brothers over there on some Black Guys and a Drunk, to go there on on their show and just have a good time as we discuss just discussing a lot of the current events going on out there in the world. And I'm sure today we're going to be talking a lot about Disney Plus and the Mandalorian on that show as well as probably some other things, definitely. So if you're not already, make sure that you go check out the Lonely Banter channel. You can check him out here on YouTube, and also make sure you go check out Drunk 3PO. And again, thank you Drunk 3PO and LB for bringing me onto your guys' show. It truly is an honor. But make sure you go check out Lonely Banter channel. Make sure that you go check out Drunk 3PO's channel, as some Black Guys in a Drunk will be underway tonight, and it's probably going to be a fun one. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe some Black Guys in a Drunk is actually going to go through and do a second episode this week, as episode 2 of the Mandalorian drops on Friday, and that is definitely something we'll talk about more on Friday morning during the morning movie chat, and probably definitely be talking about Friday on the Trailer Park Live. So again, it's going to be a very busy week. There's going to be a lot of people talking about these things, and you guys know me here, man. I'm not like, I don't have to be the first to jump on to all of these things. I've got certain things that I want to be the first to do and to talk about, and I'm more centered around comic books here on the channel and movies. So again, this is a TV show, so I will be talking about it, but I'm not going to go out there and rush and do something all willy-nilly and just talking about stuff kind of like I'm doing. And that's what I got the morning movie chat here for, so I can talk to you guys about it and interact with you all as we all come together to discuss all the nerdy things that we want to talk about here on the show. And here on the show, this morning movie chat, I try to keep it strictly to movies, and we've got time for comic books throughout the week. So again, thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel today. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed and click that little bell so you get notifications anytime I've uploaded new content. It also sends you out notifications anytime I plan on doing a live video and anytime I am going live. And if you could do me one other favor, help us defeat the forces of Hydra, who are constantly out there trying to bury me in that YouTube algorithm, by smashing that like button. And if you don't like it, feel free to give it a thumbs down as well. I do not take it personally, but I do greatly appreciate you guys doing that for me. You all have a very good day. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you in the next video. Later. Oh man, come on. What's going on here? Oh man.